Hey everybody, it's Natalie with Treasures of Mini, and I am back after our move with my first video. I thought I would share with you real quick what I've been doing during the move, just to kind of stay sane. I did pick up a Jane Davenport butterfly effect book, and I have started a journal. And I've also been using some of her stamps. And you can see you can kind of stamp the outline of the face and then go from there. This is the first art journal I have ever done, so these are like the first 4 pages I've ever done. And I've just been kind of doing this while we've been moving and being in hotels and things like that, and just to try to stay sane, and I'm really enjoying it, but I thought I would share with you. This is the newest one I did, and I really like it. Now I have another little discovery. I'm just storing it in the corn dog box, don't worry. But in Hawaii, we had no Dollar Trees or any kind of dollar store. So now that I'm back here, I am loving it. So one day I was in the Dollar Tree and I saw these pill sorter sets. I bought 4 of them for $1. And I realized that I could put a number on my ink pad and then a corresponding number for a little pill section, one of the little sections in there, and that it would hold my blending sponges perfectly and easy to find. So here's the card we're going to make today, and it's probably not my best, but I'm going to go for it. And this is the paper pad that I got the patterned paper from, and then the glitter piece came from this one, and I have 2 pieces of photo paper that I cut to just be a little bit smaller to lay on each one of those panels. And then I'm going to use this stamp set. I think I'm going to do the couple sitting on the bench. And with some Jane Davenport gesso, I'm going to do a layer of gesso on a piece of 65-pound cardstock. It's just a scrap piece. I'm going to stamp the couple on this. I'm going to do 2 layers. And while that's drying, I'm going to get out my distress inks. And you'll see those right here. And I'm putting them on in that order from darkest to lightest. And this is that piece of photo paper that we cut out to lay over the glitter piece. I'm sorry guys, I'm having a hard time. I haven't done this in a while. And so I'm just working my way down with those colors that I showed you and going from darkest to lightest. I want it to look like a sunset, and I'm using the sponge to do it this time instead of how we usually spray water and then turn it over in it and kind of plop it down. And right here I decided to get a paintbrush and just put a little bit of that seedless preserve on there and kind of swoosh it down. And then I also did the same thing with the candy apple, and you can see it makes like these swooshing lines. Then for the smaller piece, I decided, because I didn't want to waste the ink that I already had on the mat, so I'm going to do our original technique where I just wet it and then lay my photo paper over in it. But it wasn't quite dark enough, so I went ahead and scribbled or put down a little bit and then misted it and then laid it back in it, of each one of the colors, working my way down in the same order that we did the other piece. And then with my baby wipe, we're going to wipe it all off, and look how shiny and pretty it is. And this one too, it's just so shiny and pretty. I love doing this. So now the gesso piece is dry, and I'm going to take some StazOn ink and I'm going to stamp the couple. And then the reason I did this is because I want to watercolor on a piece of thin cardstock, and you can watercolor over gesso. Now, I didn't let you see me watercoloring the umbrella because I'm actually just going to cut it off. But using the Jane Davenport watercolors, which I really like, they're really bright and pretty, I am going to watercolor this little scene. And this kind of takes a little bit of time, and I actually didn't let you watch me do the whole thing because I'm really slow at it. But if you can watercolor over the gesso, and the reason I did it is because when I have to fussy cut something out, I like it to use the thinnest piece of cardstock I can get away with, because I think it looks better when something's fussy cut it out with thinner cardstock. And in the art journaling, I've learned that you can watercolor over gesso. Now it acts different. It does not absorb into the paper. It kind of sits on top with the gesso and you let it dry, but it still mixes really well. And what I really like about it is it leaves your brush strokes. And I think that it leaves a really cool artistically, I don't really know a right word to describe it, but I don't know. I love the way it looks. You can tell more when I start on his jacket, but anyway, so I'm having fun doing this, guys, and I have missed y'all, and I've loved seeing the comments, and several people have messaged me and wishing me well and hoping I'm back soon, and I really have enjoyed that. And I finally got things set up to where I felt like I could do a video. I think if you saw, well, I'm going to show you a little video of where I'm working at the end of this, and you'll see that we have no furniture. We've been in our house for 2 weeks now, and we have nothing. We only have what we flew with us on the plane, and our stuff still has not arrived from Hawaii. So it's been kind of rough, but we're making it. And I finally was able to get me a little crafting area set up and felt like I was able to do some videos. So here on the jacket, I'm actually going to use 2 different green colors, and I'm laying down the lightest one first, and then I'm going to come back in with a little bit of a darker green and kind of lay in the shadows. And you can see that the color does not move a lot. It holds your brush stroke. But then at the same time, if you don't like it, all you have to do is come back over it and move it. And you can see it just moves so well. You do not want to use a lot of water with this, though. You do use a very damp brush, almost like if you were using your zig markers. And I'm also doing more of a dabbing than strokes as well. I hope you guys can tell that. And I feel like this video is a little jumbled up. I haven't done one in a while, and I didn't realize how rusty I would be. But yeah, a little rusty on this. I keep having all kinds of problems. But I hope you guys try the watercolor over gesso. I really like it. And I'm only going to let you watch me paint the rest of this jacket, and then I'm going to finish it off camera because it just really took me a long time. Because for one, where I'm having to set to do the video because of my hip, I'm a lot better, but I do have to get up and move around. So it was just taking me a long time. But I really love this. Now right here I'm putting some of the pink in because I'm cutting off the umbrella, so I wanted it to look like the sun or the sky was kind of reflecting back on him. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing this more. I really, really liked this. So here it is after I finished painting everything, and you see how you can see all the little strokes, and you can just drop color in, and it's really cool. I fussy cut it out, and with my craft knife I cut out the little pieces like on the bench, and then with a Memento black marker I'm going to go around all of the edges. I really like doing that. And with my Micron black, I'm going to just add some details on their shoes and his hat and her jacket. I think is all I do, just to kind of fine tune those little details. And then we're going to start putting it together. So I liked that Memento going around the edges so much that I decided to do it on my 2 patterned pieces. And then I'm going to go ahead, I'm gluing this on our card base, and I'm going to go ahead and put my Photo Oxide piece onto my blue strip, and I'm going to glue my other Photo Oxide piece onto the glitter piece, but I had to put a lot more glue, and I am using Tombow, and I just set something on it heavy and let it sit there until it was ready. Now I'm going to glue this piece straight down because I don't want it raised up yet, so I'm just going to use some Tombow, eyeball it where I want it, stick it down there, and then the glitter piece I'm going to lay about right here, and the couple's going to sit here. But then I decided it needed some grass or something to ground them. So here is using what you have, because I don't have any grass, but I did have this pineapple stamp. So I used the solid pineapple top with some twisted citron and pilled paint on both pieces. And then I used this one that is, because it's like one of those layer stamps, so it's not a solid piece. I used that Lucky Clover, I think it's called, for that. And then with a paper towel, I wiped it off. And now we have some little grass. So it looks like the little couple's a little grounded. So, and that's what it's going to look like. But now I thought we needed some stars. So this is a Jane Davenport paint over pen, and I really like it. And I'm just doing some dots and some squiggly line, or not squiggly lines, but some little like hash lines to represent little stars. I love that paint over pen. And I'm going to pop this piece up on the front of the card, which I wish I would have done my stamping first. So you'll see why. And with some Tombow, I'm going to glue the couple down. I'm stamping my sentiment on some of that thin cardstock, and I'm stamping it in oxide ink. And then I lay my stamp back over it, lined up, and lightly draw an outline around it with a pencil and fussy cut it out. And then I'm going around it with my memento pen as well, and putting some Tombow on the back of it and gluing it down. Now, I thought I would add, I got these at Michael's and I really, really love them, so I wanted to use them. And I'm just going to stick 3 of them up here with some glossy accents. And that is going to be it for the card. Now, I don't really like the way the sentiment is. What I wish I would have done is stamped it straight on to the Photo Oxide panel. But I had already popped it up and I couldn't stamp it when I realized that that's the way it would have looked best. So if you do it, I think it would look prettier if it's in the sky and the couple's looking up at it. So here is something that I did experimenting. That is some more of that Jane Davenport gesso, and with a brayer I am pushing it around on a scrap piece of photo paper, and I'm going to let that dry. When it was dry, I tore it in half so that I would have 2 different panels. And with a paintbrush, I am going to do the same order of the sky colors that we were using. In between each color, I'm rinsing my brush out really good and drying it off as much as I can with a towel, and then going into the next color. And this is over the gesso. I just wanted to see what it would do. You know, just another way to do it, and using a paintbrush to see how it looks with a paintbrush. So then with a baby wipe, I'm wiping it off really good. And look how cool that is. I mean, I really like it. I'm going to find a way to use it on something. But on the other half, I did the technique where we put it on the mat and spray the water and then pick it up. So I thought I'd share with you, this is my little section that I craft in, sitting in that little chair, and that's all my craft goodies. And I came up with a way to put my board that my husband made me onto my walker, and then clip my camera holder on there. And this is what it looks like when I'm sitting at it. So this is me after I got done with the card. I thought I'd share this. I brought all my Copics with me, and all of them and my zigs fit perfect in this little PetSmart small animal box that you get when you buy a small pet. There's my oxides, and on this side of me, I got a bunch of pencil bags at the dollar store, and I just have stuff separated out in there, and more bags separating stuff. And this has some stamp pads and acrylic blocks sitting by my window. Even have some quilling paper hanging there. That's a little man who came in the PetSmart box. And then we have Buddy the black dog and Thomas the cat. I just thought I would share them with you. Anyway, guys, I really hope y'all enjoyed this. I enjoyed trying to make it. I had a lot of fun. I'm so glad to have made one. Please give me a thumbs up and hit subscribe. Hugs and loves from my craft room to yours.